Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name's Andy, Corporate Commander at TFW, and I'm joined this week by the man who's been drained emotionally this week. It's Mr. Mikey G. Wolf V3. Hello, Mikey.
I now understand how Spock feels.
But you don't accept him because you've never liked Vulcans, you've told me. Or at least said on Twitter before.
I don't have to accept someone to understand them.
But you know what it's like to have emotion? You just know what it's like to be drained of them. How's it going this week, though, Mr. Mike? Is it going good?
Vulcans are phenomenally illogical.
You don't like them.
It doesn't. They are completely counterintuitive, and they don't make sense. They're not logical beings, and anyone who says that what Vulcans is logical, they don't know what logic is. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm not bad. Not bad. It's a wee bit warm as the sun's slowly blaring in, and I'm sure by the end of the show I'm going to be a little bit on the moist side. But not in the sexy way. Not in the sexy way at all. Just in the hot and bothered way. But we actually have Transformers news to talk about this week, shockingly, Mikey.
It's a lie.
No, it's not a lie. It's a clever deceit, though. We're going to kick off with third-party news, because that's just how it goes, with Newage Legends scaled G1 Insecticons. We've got the H10 Abaddon. It's because it doesn't have the double B. I want to see Abaddon.
No, it's a mythological thing.
No, I know who Abaddon is. He's also in Warhammer as well, but he
just
has
like
two
they're
Bs.
all. I think that's probably a spelling error or a very intentional one because
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like
not sure.
Abaddon, Burial, and Asmodeus. It would
Yeah.
be very odd. It would be very odd to just have Burial, Asmodeus, Gary.
Not exactly what.
Shut up, Gary.
Not 1-to-1, but I get what you're saying.
Shut up, Gary.
But like you say, H11 is Belial and H12. And H12 Asmodeus. H12,
Methinks a typo.
H12.
Methinks typos.
Multiple typos. Multiple typos. Anyway, they're in the Insecticons, so you got Kickback, Bombshell, and Shrapnel. You know, the boys, tut lads. They also did another selection of them. So they had G1 cartoon colored, which is not the most massively different. I'd call them grey.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I honestly whenever someone says they have, we've got show accurate Insecticons, I genuinely have to stop and go, they were different.
Yeah, were they different though? I suppose they're slightly like a lighter black, but
less purple on the grey ones.
Is there?
Bombshell.
The purple's not as I guess navy blue. It doesn't have like navy blue in
Bombshell
the purple.
Bombshell doesn't have the purple chest.
Oh yes, I see what you're saying. Yeah, on the sides of his boobs, he'd have a bit of purple. Yeah,
and the other two are just a little lighter coloured.
Yeah. The purple's light. I say it doesn't have that navy blue tinge to it, but I'm not sure I'm entirely on board with the grey. It might be show accurate, but it looks too light.
Looks cheap to me.
A little bit. It is darker than your standard grey plastic, which is also on the figure, but it's not as poppy, I guess, as the normal coloured version. The cartoon coloured ones are defined by their pluses, so it's H10 plus, H11 plus, and H12 plus. Abaddon is still spelled Abaddon, but never mind. But H12 is not H12, at least, so that's something.
Maybe just he's Abaddon.
He's a dirty Baden. That's the Warhammer 40,000 joke as well that people do. So each of these figures are legend scale, as I mentioned. They can transform. They are posable with their little ball joints and the little wrist swivels and all that jazz. They also come with, I guess they're coming as no, they're not coming as a set. So I assume each one comes with an Energon cube. Quite a big one too. Purple Energon cube, not the flat stack of cushions, as I always called it. You remember when they got like 5 or 6 and smushed them down?
Oh yeah.
They always looked to me like pillows. I don't think have we ever had those made.
No, I don't think we have, actually.
Granted, I think they were only in the 3-parter, right? And then it was just the cubes.
Think so.
Yeah, so maybe that's why. Either way, just a standard Energon cube and then what you would assume for the weapons. We also see them in insect mode. They've been placed quite nicely on like little backdrops. I really like the little forest one where they're coming out of the cave. That's really cute. And the little cornfield shot is again really nice because like I remember that episode.
I'm assuming that's a rug.
No, that's more than I would assume. It's more likely like a train model terrain or something like that.
It just seems so long.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean
Well,
the bits of in quotations corn?
It just seems bigger than it should for that.
Maybe. Oh, I tell you what, it might be as well. It might be a doormat.
Oh.
It might be that. Either way, there's also a shot with shrapnel with lightning effects. But I don't know if that means he's coming with lightning effects or if these are just extra bits they've stuck onto him. Because it doesn't say in the description as far as I can tell. I mean, unless you see something I don't, Mr. Mikey.
I'm assuming they must come with them just because they're so small.
Yeah, it would be weird to attach them into the photos if they, weren't part of the figure in some way. So, Mikey, do you have a preference between cartoon colored, which come with the exact same accessories and the exact same robot modes and alt modes, obviously, or do you like the, I guess, classic toy version? I suppose.
And a rare thing for me, definitely the toy.
Same, yeah.
It pops way more. The colors are better. Yeah, just the toy. Just in general.
Well, what do you think of them just on their own as a little Transformer legend scale dudes?
I think I saw this weird thing where people are going like, I don't understand how to do the insecticons at this level. I'm just like, would it be that hard?
They've done them at this level. Do you
no,
remember
Andy,
the Legends figures?
These are hard.
Okay.
This is hard to do, apparently.
I'd also throw out they're the G1 toys, but with droids.
And no, Andy, see, you don't understand.
Uh-huh.
This is hard.
Okay.
Apparently.
Yes.
But, so, yeah, it is. I mean, I've just seen so many Insecticons at this stage. I'm kind of blasé.
Mm-hmm. Are you as blasé on these as you are Dinobots? Masterpiece scale Dinobots. I'll underline that.
No,
I'll very
because
quickly underline that.
Yeah. No, because these won't cost as much.
That's true. That is very true. Well, or will they?
And I was going to say in theory.
Oh, will they? Yeah. Ooh, that would be bad. 80 quid each.
You will give me 80 quid and your firstborn, son.
No. Any other thoughts on these?
They're alright. I think Newage has done better.
What else have they done? Because I couldn't place the name.
They did a little Optimus, and I believe are they the ones who did that Bumblebee everyone freaked out about?
No, what, the Hearts of Steel one?
No. The little G1 one.
Oh, the little fat tubby one, which got really popular at a TFCon, I think it was?
Yeah.
Maybe. It might have been them. It might have been someone else. But I don't think that was that wasn't a G1 transformation, so it had a little bit more going for it. I'd throw out that I think these do look nice. And luckily I'm not tired of G1 Insecticons, but I think because they are so close to the G1 toys, they don't have, like, in terms of the transformation, it seems. They don't have a huge push for me. I'm not like, oh god, these look amazing. They look fine. But like you, they're not really, well, from what I can tell from what you've suggested, they don't really wow me. I would pick them up if they were cheap. But when I say cheap, I mean like maybe 50 for all three. I think I'd be okay with £50 for all three of them.
I think you'd be more likely to pay 25 each.
That's why, I don't think you're wrong there, but I think that's 20. Again, in my opinion, I think that's £25 too much for them, as they just look. It's maybe basic is unfair or unkind, but they do just look a bit basic to me. And we've also had the Insecticons, not that unrecently. Well, not that unrecently. We have had them recently as well, with new transformations and stuff from Titan's Return. Combiner Wars, and Power of the Primes. So they, there are slightly different ones that are out that have a G1 look that aren't perfect, granted, but were a lot cheaper. And I don't think these look like a massive upgrade from that, personally. If you want to do a new Galvatron at this scale, I'd be alright with that, because there haven't been that many good Galvatrons at this scale. Same for Cyclonus and Scourge. There haven't been that... there's been a few, but I don't think any of them have been great. But these just look very standard to me. Any other thoughts, Mr. Mikey?
No, that's about me done.
Alright, do you want to tell us, Mr. Mikey, about something Viz announced?
Viz, yes, there's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Nor I.
Viz Media, manga publisher extraordinaire. Used to do that thing where they'd release manga all wrapped up in plastic because they didn't want you to see what was in it.
Was it porn?
It was stuff like
that's all
Ikitosen.
manga is, Mikey. It's just
Do you remember
porn.
Ikitosen?
That was very etchy. Is that what they say? Etchy?
Yeah. Risque would be the thing you'd say over here.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. But then they'd also do they had real bad translations.
Did they? Oh.
Oh god, I remember though. This they took the for kids approach to translating sometimes.
Oh no.
But yeah, Viz Media have announced on Twitter that they are going to be, and this is a very surprising thing, publishing Transformers the Manga Volume 1 in winter this year. This will be a collection of manga strips from, I believe, Hero X Comics.
Yeah.
Over in Japan. These are the ones that were sort of running alongside the shows back in the 80s. This is the first time this has been collected outside of Japan. We don't know anything about price, translation, anything about it yet, but, keep your eye out. So, when the books were released over in Japan, they divided them into 7 volumes. So, Fight, Super Robot, Lifeform Transformers, Season 1 and 2. Transformers 2010, The Headmasters, Super God Master Force, Victory, Zone, Battlestars, and Operation Combination. So this is Volume 1, so presumably we're just getting the G1iest of G1s.
Yeah.
And then it's going to move on. Now, the story for these, largely, they were side stories for Volume 1 and 2. Volume 3 started bringing in new stuff, like sort of original content, like Six Shot has a bit in there.
Oh.
Victory and Zone, Victory, Master Force, and Zone are all original material. This is where things like Deathsaurus and Starsaber being childhood friends.
And having a family.
And having family.
Spoilers.
This is where Esmeralda comes from, guys. And the baby Dino Force.
Yeah.
Zone was, I believe, based largely off the TV scans. Like the TV magazine stuff.
Right.
And Battlestars and Operation Combination were based off of toy-exclusive characters over in Japan. Which were Battle Gaia and the Protectabot ones, whose name is Garrett City.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he had a good colour scheme, actually. He was neat.
So, yeah. Do you know what's weird?
What's weird, Mikey?
I should be jumping for joy at this.
Okay. I don't hear no jumping. Nor joy.
No. I mean, I am kind of amused by how many people seem to basically gone like, yeah, this is great. When Kiss players.
Hang on. I thought people hated Kiss players. I thought people were angry all the time about Kiss players. For Andy, fairly decent reasons, but...
When Kiss players.
But this... is this not just a way that people... Are people just wanting to be angry? Is that what it is?
I think you just explained the human condition.
Yes, you might be right.
But I've actually read some of these.
Oh, yes, because
some of them...
Aren't they up on TF Wiki or something?
They were, but before TF Wiki, TF Archive had fan translations of at least Headmasters and Master Force. So I have read these, which is how I know a bit of the stories. And they're not very good.
Oh.
And I'm really thinking, like, we've got the Battlestars manga is in there, which is good. Which is the Stargate one, the one where Starscream turns into an Ava. So that an Operation Combination I'm honestly interested in. But the rest of the stuff I'm a bit more and there's things like the Classics manga that never got translated over here that looked absolutely insane. There's the Sakamoto stuff. There's lots of little manga stories that have been done for Transformers that I'd rather see get a story than the stuff from basically the short stories from the 1980s. Like I said, Battlestars I really want to have a read of because I really like that book and it's got some killer art in it. But I'm this was one of those moments I was like, yeah,
it sounds like it's neat that it's happening, but I'm not sure it's the most interesting of stories that they maybe could have done. But do you think it's like a building block? So it's like they're not doing the Battlestars manga I want to read. Do you not think it means they will?
Maybe that they're doing the Battlestars manga here is basically the Star Convoy stuff.
Right.
So, yeah. Which wasn't really a manga?
Oh.
So maybe it is I'm double checking. Oh no, there was a comic with it. Okay. There was a manga that came out at the same time.
Right.
Maybe this could open the way to more other stuff because they now have the license basically.
Right.
So I would be really interesting if they could do this going forward and start doing more of these stories and what. That would be really, really cool.
Could this open the way to toy mangas? Toy comic mangas?
Hint.
Yeah.
Could it open the way to kiss players?
Yeah.
Will we one day be able to buy a story about Starscream standing around without his knickers on?
Maybe. Well, it didn't Kiss Play. I think we've talked about it before, but Kiss Players got good near the end of it, where it stopped being weird, right?
Kiss Players weird is that the actual overarching story is fairly decent.
Yeah,
from what I can tell, but
they were just bad elements.
Yeah, hey, we're going to have the fact that all the characters are specifically because they have to be driving in their 20s, 18 to 20 range. Mm-hmm. And they're drawn like that on purpose to make them look like anime 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
Because your man wanted to freak people out. And just that's just pretentious. I mean, apart from my surprisingly lackadaisical reaction, what's your overall impression?
Well, I'm not too fussed because none of these stories ever struck me as must-read kind of things. Might be something I guess to do for From the Files of Teletran too for extra content, maybe. Unless there's, I mean, you'd need to tell me if there's enough content there to talk about, or maybe there's not.
Over a few. I mean, it depends how big the volumes are.
Right.
I don't know how they broke them up when they were actually collecting them over in Japan.
I think that's going to be interesting to see how that's done, at least. Yeah. We'll see.
Uncle Six Shot will return.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, I'm not too fussed myself, but yeah. It's nice that it's out there for people to read who... Because I have heard quite a few people are interested in picking it up, like yourself, just to see what it's like. And I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Yeah, good that it's out there. You know?
Yeah. Andy, take us on to some odd news.
Yes, Paramount London to host a theme park with Transformers attraction. So apparently after many years of going back and forth with Paramount Pictures London... Is that like a theme park area, like museum tour, or is that just the division of Paramount that's in London?
Well, Paramount has a studio in London, doesn't it?
I don't know. I have been to London only a few times.
I've been to London plenty. I've just never been to in London going where can I find Paramount? Where are you over there, Paramount Pictures? I'm making Transformer noises and see if I can hear it in the distance.
Oh, that'd get your attention, to be fair. That would get your attention in London.
To be fair, what I should have done is gone to the Harry Potter experience in London and just stood outside and just you're not fucking good, and then left.
Oh, you'd get a load of angry people chasing you as well, and they wouldn't even be from the place. It would just be all the fans. Ooh,
this is overrated. The movies were a poor adaptation of okay books at best.
Yeah.
Read the books and remember that Harry is kind of a shithead.
People love those books, though. So, I mean, it did very, very well. It's very successful.
one of the genuinely most transformative moments of my life was getting to the last book in the Harry Potter series and having the very real freezing in my seat moment of realizing that now that I don't have any of the side characters and it's all just Harry, Ron, and Hermione, these three are little shitheads. The most arrogant, self-entitled bastards. All three of them. And then I realized, like, I was reading it for all the other characters all this time.
Oh, no.
Ah. And then rereading them again years later, I'm just like, oh, this story does not age well.
It's probably okay for the demographic it's aimed for.
I don't know, Andy. I remember when they did the adult version of the book so you could read it on the train and not be embarrassed? Where
No,
they had
I don't actually.
They had different covers. They had more dramatic, fantastical covers.
Oh, no, because
high art.
whenever I was like into Harry Potter, it was like audiobooks. So I just had Stephen Fry reading them to me.
See, so you know the normal covers where it would have this weird lanky boy and like a train in the background or something.
Oh,
like that.
yeah, I remember that. I remember that one at least.
Lots of adults got really self-conscious about the fact they were reading these books.
That were made for children.
Yeah. They were reading this book and they were like, I mean, can we maybe do something that makes it less obvious I'm reading a children's book on a train not to work? And so they came up with these dramatic adult covers with things like just like art from you'd expect from like a Magic the Gathering card or something like that.
Oh, right, wow.
In terms of like its stylization. And I was just like, oh, look at the maturity. Oh, the content's identical. He's worried about the girl who he treats like shit.
And then there's us who buy these children toys and are just like, look how cool this is!
Like, I have bought a children's product. Yes. Look at it!
Look at, do you see?
Do you see?
Do you see?
Here's me at Toys R Us's clothing. Do you see?
I see.
This is me on eBay looking for the latest sales. Do you see? I'm so bored.
I like that. I'm so bored. Oh, jeez. Oh, apparently, I mentioned that Paramount Pictures London has agreed to host a new theme park in Kent, of all places, with multiple attractions, including Transformers. They've got a little statement here, so let's read that. London is set to get its own version of Disneyland. That's in, like, brackets. And it's led by the film studio Paramount Pictures. That means selfies with Don Cornell from The Godfather. Oh no,
Don Cornell,
Yeah.
Corleone,
Corleone.
you fucking savage.
I've never seen the fucking Godfather. I don't.
I have. I don't like it as much as anyone else, but
Okay.
I've at least seen it.
Do you feel like a better person for seeing it?
Well, I feel better when I say I don't actually think it's that great a movie.
Oh, okay. You like to be one of those guys. You can say hi to Bumblebee from Transformers and check out Tom Cruise's stunt locations from Mission Impossible. The plans for the park have been in the works apparently for a while, but came to a halt some years ago over disagreements over film rights, stated the Metro UK, known newspaper of high regard.
Free, I believe.
Lol. The park will also feature a massive 2,000-seat theater for Paramount movies. Only? It doesn't say only, but it suggests it is. And more than 50 rides based on various properties, not limited to Paramount franchises. You can check out several concept images if you go into your news websites. However, the park isn't going to be open until we're probably all dead, which is 2024.
Oh God. Well, I'm trying to figure out where in London this would be.
It says Kent, so is there a good place in Kent to shove something like this?
Don't know. Put it in Essex.
Oh no. Oh no. I was going to say, is there like a fancy place in Kent to put it? And then you say Essex, and I'm like, oh, hang on a tick. Careful now. I've never been to Essex, but I've heard the stories.
I have.
I've heard it's the only way, Mikey.
I have both been in Essex and spent time with the Essex
As the people. Yeah. Did you enjoy your time there?
They wouldn't let me leave.
Yeah, no, that sounds
They
right.
stole my keys. They kept on trying to paint me orange.
Oh no.
I don't understand their ways.
What do you think, Mikey, of a theme park, one being in London and being based off the Paramount Picture properties, which I can't I can't think of that many, to be honest, but I'm sure there are a lot.
I'm a little surprised it's taken this long
What
to do a theme park in London.
Okay, I thought you were going to say specifically Paramount, because to me,
No.
Paramount doesn't seem like
Well,
a thing.
I know, so Universal does it, I suppose.
Yeah, but Universal has taken things like the Transformers movie stuff, and they've taken lots of other movies as well, because I don't think all the ones that are in Universal are their own, so...
No, well, they're saying here they won't all be Paramount.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I don't know about it, in all honesty, but I'm genuinely surprised it's taken this long to have the idea. But one thing I will say, this is going to be the best thing ever if you get like a British version of theme park movie Megatron.
No.
But he has to be like the roughest kind of Londoner type.
He'd have a really good accent on him.
Yeah. Or, oh man, you could do him as Only Fools and Horses.
You could. Yeah, that would be interesting.
You Plonka Prime.
I'm not sure how I feel about this. I think I've never been that interested in going to theme parks in the UK, because I always have this idea of it's the gloomy UK. Why would you want to go to a theme park here when you could go to lovely America and be burnt in the sun? Hey,
well, you just solved it for me.
Well, you don't want to be burnt in the sun.
I don't even like the sun in general.
No.
The sun is the enemy.
It's a dry heat. It's better. I don't know. I'd be interested to see what they do for it, but yeah, it's an interesting idea at the very least. As long as they have some nice, fun, interesting rides, that's all you can really hope for something like this, I suppose. So maybe we'll talk about this in like 5 years' time. Oh God.
I don't know why, but I'm more worried about the fact we might be doing this podcast in 5 years' time than the fact we might be talking about this in 5 years' time.
You may be correct. Mikey, do you want to take the next two stories as they're quite quickies?
Yeah, this is... the first one's weird, but...
It is.
During the 4th of July parade in St. Louis, the one without the tanks, the Optimus Prime balloon made an appearance. This was a quite chunky G1 style Optimus Prime who went down the street in St. Louis. And I mean, it looked decent enough. It was in kind of an actiony pose.
Looks
he was
sinister
walking
to me.
Yeah, but
Prime.
It's his smokestacks are pointing down for some reason, possibly so that he can like smog people beneath him.
Yes.
But and I could see in some of these pictures it does look like he might be getting ready to deflate soon. Mm-hmm. But overall, he looked fine.
That's a good point, actually. Aren't these meant to be a lot higher off the ground?
Yeah, I thought this was quite low.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there may be, like, maybe he's just tied down. Like, he's not on a parade so much as he's on, like, display.
Oh, I thought you meant emotionally.
Please, pop me. I can't go on. Small child with a needle next to him. Optimus, I don't want to do it.
Do it.
Deflate me.
I'm begging you, Timmy. It's the only thing I've ever asked of you.
I've done so much for you, child. I've been there when you needed me.
I made a snowball for you.
I played basketball for you. I was so old. I broke my knees, but I did it for you.
Hang on.
Please, pop me.
In that G1 episode, did Spike play in that basketball game?
I think he might have.
How?
It's...
Oh, did he?
I don't know.
He must have watched from the sidelines, right? Because
how did he handle the snowball? Because I think he got caught in that.
Oh no, he died after that. He died.
Didn't they play soccer with the Dinobots?
They played. No, they played. It was basketball. They played with the Dinobots, I think, right?
No, basketball predates that.
Did it?
I'm literally going to see the clip now.
I do remember Prime throwing a snowball at Spike, and it was bigger than he was, and he, Spike probably was sent to hospital quite quickly after that. Fix it up, Pratchett. Let's do it again.
So they set up a giant basketball court.
Yes, I
and
remember
the ones
that.
playing are Inferno, Smokescreen, Trax, and Optimus. And yeah, Spike is on the side.
Okay, so that was the important question, because I was like, that ball would be much bigger than he was. He would have died playing that game as well. So that's fine. He didn't play. He survived that.
Snowball Fight is indeed a dead Spike.
Yes. Or very crippled Spike.
G1.
That's why they have the Autobot Spike episode. It's the real reason for it. It's the only explanation.
I think the Dinobots one is when they were playing football.
American football or soccer football?
They don't acknowledge one of those.
Fantastic.
Although they did win the World Cup today, so well done to them.
Well, the Dinobots.
Yes.
Oh, good for them.
Yes. Moving on. The next news story is one that I got amused by some people's reactions.
Oh.
But Transformers War for Cybertron Siege Omega Supreme possible release date delay.
All right.
So the figure was originally due out, I believe, next month. But now, Andy, it's been delayed till October the 4th.
So a few months.
Are you incredibly put out by this?
Would I? Well, the question is, am I going to get this figure? The answer is, of course, no. So am I put out by this? No.
Are you
Me.
filled with a rage comparable to the sun and its heat and intensity?
Well, you know me. I do get very emotional about things quite quickly. I do wear my heart on my sleeve. That's what they always say.
Do you recognize that the big problem with Hasbro is that they are in fact Hasblo?
Oh no! They pulled out the term, did they? Oh no!
Yes. Apparently, it might be because the figure failed the drop test.
I mean, it looks pretty fucking big. So
it was reported by an ID Toys staff member in a comment thread on a Kapow Toys Facebook post that the figure had failed its drop test.
right. Oh well, that would explain.
But that was a voice in the ether. That could have been anything,
Oh, you saying they're fucking liars? Is that what you're saying?
Fall of subterfuge.
Oh no!
But my God, some people got pissed at this.
Well, that's a shame. Not surprising, but
No, but I'm talking apoplectic shits and fucks and arms swaying and threats to your mother and your sister and what they do to your mother and sister if they didn't get this toy kind of raging.
Shouldn't this be maybe a better thing to ensure that you have the money for it when it comes out?
Yeah, but they're getting fucked over personally, Andy.
How?
Don't know, but they said horrible things.
Horrible, nightmarish things. To Mikey specifically.
Horrible things. Horribly.
Oh, that's a shame. Again, I wouldn't say it's unfortunately not that surprising to hear that people freaked out about something, but I mean, it's not like if they cancelled it and said, no, we're just not bringing this figure out. All right, fine. I'd get why people would get a little bit on the pissy side about it, but if it's just a delay, it's just a delay. It'll come out eventually.
Delay. Right? Maybe. We don't know. It's moving
Right.
further and further away every moment. Who knows when it'll come out?
Okay, I thought you dropped there because it was just went silent for so long. I was like, oh god. I was just getting my pen ready and my paper and be like, right, we've lost a bit here.
No, I was just pausing for dramatic effect, Andy.
Oh, you were scaring me. That's how dramatic it got. It put the fear of God in me. That's right. Well. Yeah, I just wanted to move on there because I knew you were doing it again. Shall I move us on, Mr. Mikey?
Please do.
Right. We decided to put this stuff here as it was all TFCon related. So, TFCon Toronto 2019, we have a reveal of the exclusive for the convention, or one of them at least. The Mastermind Creations R32 Broken Mirror Stray.
What? Broken Mirror? Oh, God, I just got it.
What did you get, Mikey?
Because I hadn't paid attention to the name.
Uh-huh.
So now I see the name. And
Explain the name.
You see, children.
Mm-hmm.
You see. Once upon a time.
Yes.
Back in day, if you will.
Yes.
There was a character called Drift.
Yes.
Now, he came from a bad background.
Mm-hmm.
And he strayed from the path, if you will. And one time, someone got the hilarious idea of doing a mirrorverse called a shattered glass, if you will.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so mirror, broken glass. See the cleverness?
Oh, yes.
And then someone said, what if, in this universe, he was Deadpool? And then everybody laughed.
No, did they? I don't think they did. Well, actually, I think some did, actually, to be fair.
Someone probably did.
Yeah.
But hey! In all honesty, I think this looks good.
Yes, this is a... What was the original figure that this was based off of? Called?
I think it's just Stray.
Was it just Stray? Okay, well, it's their Drift. It's their Future Car Drift. It wasn't... It's not based off his Earth mode. I think it was more the IDW design,
his
right? Or one of them.
Alex Milne Cybertronian mode, I believe.
Yeah.
Because I know they redid it into Deadlock at one point.
That's right. He's done in red and black, and I don't think there's anything else new to him apart from the color scheme. Oh, he's got new guns, does he?
Mm.
He seems to have like a not sniper rifle, sort of sniper rifle.
Yeah, so like this rifle is not snipering, but it is definitely a rifle.
Yeah, a rifle, but with an extra scope on it, I guess. Looks quite nice gun. The cost of the figure is going to be $120. I imagine that's US. Rather than Canadian, even though it will be Canadian dollars, I assume. Quantities will be limited because it is a exclusive. So make sure you head over to the MMC booth in the vendor hall if you want to go and buy one. Premium ticket holders will have the first shot on the Friday evening. So if you're salivating at the mush to get your hands on it, get your premium tickets. You said you like this, Mr. Mikey.
Honestly, I think it looks good.
Yeah.
I don't think it looks amazing, but I think it looks good.
Yeah, I think it looks okay. Obviously, the fact that I wasn't that sold on the first one, the original version of this, and don't have much of a connection to Shattered Glass, especially because of Shattered Glass. Does it sell on the color scheme? Yeah, I think it's a well done color scheme. The layout of the red and the black work well. It's always a good color combination. I always think it's a shame that these things don't get a unique face sculpt, just to give it a different person. Like even if it's the same mold, like just a different expression would give it a different feel, personality on the shelf versus the original one. But I get why they don't do it. But because it is a third party, I think there's less of an excuse there than there is for Hasbro. Or maybe there's do you think maybe that's unfair? Do you think maybe that's more of an excuse for them not to do it?
I don't know, really.
Because they've got, the market is much, much smaller. The amount that they make is much, much smaller. So maybe that's the reason why they don't do these extra pieces. Or just extra expression mold for the face. I don't know. Either way, there's another one coming for TFCon Toronto 2019. An exclusive, which is the Ocular Max PS18 Zinnia. Is that right, Mikey? Xenia?
I believe so.
Oh, man, it should be Xenia. Should be Zany. So, this is the good RC figure that didn't cause any controversy, as far as I'm aware. Did it? Fans Toys
No,
did, but,
I think the only controversy was the Azalea came out in black, and everyone wanted the black version, and that was hard to get. And I still want the black version.
Yeah, because that had a unique face sculpt, didn't it? She had crazy face on.
She had the Glasgow smile.
Yeah, exactly. Made it a bit cooler. This is, your Paradron medic color scheme. So you got your what is that? Turquoisey blue.
I'll take your word for it.
And like a lilac pink, maybe? I don't know. I'm not a color wizard.
I'm not a color wizard. Every other kind of wizard, maybe, but
not specifically not the color kind. I don't know my color wheel that well. It's got the new color scheme. Apparently it features a brand new head sculpt with and a brilliant, cool color scheme. I don't see the new head sculpt though.
Is it the smile?
Maybe, yeah. I think the proportions just on the face are a little bit different. I don't know. Is the head different shaped as well? I'm not sure.
No, I don't think it's a different shape because I know the Paradron Medic was just a repaint.
Yeah.
So I think it might just be the expression.
See, I thought, just looking at it, because we don't have the other picture of the other RC up, it looks like it's obviously the same idea as the RC head, but just exaggerated in certain dimensions and proportions. But I could be wrong. I think the face is it says the face is new, so I'll definitely take the word on it there. It does have the ropey elbow joint still, which I know some people had a problem with. But you know what, Mikey? You know what they should have done instead? You know what
should they have done, Andy?
I think this would have looked better if it had I don't know, some fire details on it, and maybe it had a bit more of a war aesthetic.
Andy, what kind of madness are you speaking?
I don't know. Maybe it would have something like Warflame vibe going, something like that. Maybe you could rearrange those words. Do something
Fire
different.
conflict.
Yes. Fire conflict. Warmth overtones. That'd be a terrible name. Oh, actually,
Warmth debate.
I remember one of the problems that people had with it, and I'm reminded just as I scrolled up, she had tiny feet.
She does, but so does RC.
I don't know, because I didn't go out my way to look at reviews of this figure. Did she have trouble standing with those teeny tiny feet? Because I imagine she would.
I've never heard of it, to be honest. I didn't watch that many reviews, though, so... I mean, she seems sturdy enough for what she was.
I definitely think, though, that this figure looks visually more interesting than the RC, just because she's got a few more colours and a bit of a minty pop to it. Mikey, how do you feel about the Paradron Medic, the Xania?
Yeah, it's neat. I like the color scheme. It does pop a bit more. But I just think RC's color is kind of rammed down our throat so much at this stage. Anything pops a bit more.
Yeah, no, that's fair, actually. Yeah, there is a lot of just pink and white RC out there in this day and age.
It's not my favorite version of this mold, but overall it looks like a good repaint, and it amuses me. She comes with a handgun.
Yeah, well, maybe
for
it's
medical purposes only.
Maybe it's like in video games where they give you the health gun, so you shoot people to heal them.
See, now I have a very different approach to it.
What, just to shoot them?
She's all for assisted suicide.
Oh, no!
It's like, I don't know if I'll make it, nurse. You won't. And when I say assisted suicide, it's like, they're not asking.
No.
She's assuming.
It's forceful. Well, the option's there for you to buy this figure, if you like. It's going to be coming out soon. It doesn't say... Does it say which booth to pick it up from? Premium ticket holders. Yeah, it's going to be the MMC booth again. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, because this is Mastermind Creations, isn't it? Even though it's branded under Oculamax. So, go and grab one if you like. It's also, if I didn't mention, I'll mention it again, $120. So, if you've got a spare $120, you can either, or if you have double that, if you have enough for both, you can go for both. Or if you've only got one, it's one or the other from the same booth. One other bit of TFCon news. They have a special guest announced as well, which is Colin Murdoch, who was the voice of Beast Wars Quick Strike, cowboy, snake, spider, scorpion lad with his weird mouth. He always had a weird face.
Yeah.
I always liked him as a character, but the fact that it had that blue bit in the center made me think it was a mouth, but then I realized later on that it didn't go inwards. It was just like painted blue, even on the model. Yep. So was it a mouth?
Moves up and down. It
was weird. It was strange. It was a strange idea. Very strange. Mikey! Colin Murdoch. You like... Oh, hang on. In addition to Thrust in Beast Wars, in Transformers Armada, plus apparently cartoon in addition to Thrust in Transformers Armada. No, yeah, I think that makes sense.
I don't remember Thrust's voice.
I kind of do. It's been a long time since I've Armada'd. Plus Scorponok and Wing Saber in Transformers Energon. I'll just say I don't remember that because luckily
I don't remember their voices.
I've purged most of Energon from my mind.
I tried.
The drinking helps. And he will be doing, obviously, a Q&A panel and autographs. Mikey, as I was going to ask you before, Colin Murdoch, Beast Wars Quick Strike, yay? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I was thinking about it when I saw this. Quick Strike is that character you liked, but never remember once he's out of your vision. Until he comes back and you're just like, oh man, Quick Strike! And then he's gone again and just like, who?
He was always a fun one, but he wasn't like one of the hard-hitting cast members, I don't think.
No, I guarantee you, he's the one, I think, like more than a lot of other characters, where you're all going like, and there was this one guy in season 2.
I could definitely name one who was more so than that, and that's Scorponok.
No, but his name's Scorponok.
Are you saying that because of that it carried more weight to it?
Well, the only reason anyone remembers Pterosaur is because his name was Pterosaur.
No, they also remember him because he had the really obnoxious voice and it was basically Starscream as well.
A really shitty Starscream.
A really shitty Starscream who wasn't possessed by Starscream in Starscream's Ghost, oddly enough.
But was voiced by the same guy in that episode.
Yeah! Do you not think those two, like, I don't know, they should have probably written something with those two together a bit more, right?
Yeah, it felt like they didn't do it because they wanted Starscream and Turthor interacting.
Yeah.
But
Maybe that was
then-
a deliberate thing because they had the same voice actor for it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was odd. Either way.
Scott McNeil was saying only one man does one-man scenes in this place.
And it's me. I talk to myself. No one else.
No, not even when I'm not recording, the voices speak to me.
That's right.
They tell Scott to kill, but Scott is yet to give in.
No, for now.
For now.
Well, that we can prove. Any other thoughts then, Mikey?
Not really. It's cool.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. All right, then why don't you take us on to the last bit of news for today? This week?
So we have more guest news from TF Nation. Jim Sorensen, a man you literally would have to tie up to stop from going, is going. Jim has been going for years. He's a real fun guy. He was involved in the animated almanac. He was involved in a lot of the IDW source books that came out in sort of the mid-2000s. He's currently hard at work on the Transformers A Visual History, which will cover the entire 35 years of Transformers in 408 pages. He also scripted the club fiction of the retelling of the Beast Wars events, which was a lot more dark and Marxist. So yeah, he's going to be there. He, probably most famous for the Allspark Almanac, which I think everyone owned at the time.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that was super hard to get. Part 1 and Part 2 were.
Yeah, now to be fair, I wouldn't want to try and buy it now.
No, that'd be hard.
I think I gave mine away years ago. Trying to remember.
Did you? Jeez, why would you do that?
I know, I knew a child who liked animated.
Oh, Mikey, you need to stop being nice to kids.
But if then they'll stop biting me. They're always biting me, Andy. But yeah, he's done a lot of work, and he used to have a blog, which I don't know if he still runs. But yeah, so he's going to be there at TF Nation, of course, 16 to 18 of August 2019. Joining a bunch of other guests, and I think they still have one more to announce. But so the big one here is that we have a very different event. So via Marty Eisenberg and Hasbro, instead of the usual script reading, which is basically 50 minutes of trying to avoid giving Nick Roach an excuse to be Megatron, they are going to have a live audio performance of Transformers Animated Season 4 premiere 3-part opener, The Trial of Megatron. So this will be using the voice actors on hand. This is going to use the original treatment and the original scripting gotten off Marty Eisenberg for the planned but cancelled Season 4. So this is exactly what was going to happen before editing and whatnot.
So it will be different, I guess, then from the comic that we got from a previous TF Nation, which was ideas from that but wasn't a direct translation.
Yeah, what we got before was, we all know the rumors of what it was going to be. We've all heard Marty Eisenberg, and then some fans came along and wrote something up.
Yeah.
This is direct from the man himself. This is Marty Eisenberg's vision for where this would have gone. We know from previous things that he was planning to have Megatron get reformatted into his new body, and he would establish a base on Earth. And we also know things like they were going to do Shattered Glass, Ironhide and Jazz were going to become permanent members of the team, etc., etc. But yeah, so this is going to be on the Saturday. It's available only for weekend pass holders, and this is the thing that's causing a bit of controversy. There will be no filming, cameras, anything of this on the day.
Why is this causing controversy?
Because a lot of people who aren't going to TF Nation, whether they're American, British, European, whatever, are not happy that they won't be able to see this, and this is an exclusive over here.
See, I would imagine it's something to do with legal nonsense, potentially,
yes,
as well.
Hasbro basically said the only way you're getting this is if you promise it, like, there is no leaking of it.
Yeah, so what do you want? It's not TF Nation's fault.
I think if you're interested in this, get TFCon or one of the fan conventions to get in contact with Hasbro and Marty and see if you can have it there.
Yeah, I can't imagine they wouldn't. Well, I can't imagine that the conventions wouldn't be interested in doing something like that, because I'm sure it would pull in the people for the American continent. I'm sure that would interest them. So,
and Marty Eisenberg is going to be on site for this, so it's going to be pretty handy. Quite a large guest list this year.
Yes, yeah. I to be honest, I was quite happy to hear that this was going on because I've for quite a few years not been a massive fan of the fan script reading personally, and I know a lot of people love it. But it hurts me, Mikey. I think I've told you about this before.
Andy, it's so funny.
People love it. A lot of people love it. I'm not one of those people, though.
No one knows why they're laughing.
I'm sure they do. I'm trying not to be mean to it because I know so many people enjoy it, but it's not ever been for me. So I was really considering, like, do I just not bother? Like, even though I've technically paid for it with the ticket, do I just not bother going? And now it feels
I can't
like
remember the last time you and I went to it.
Well, to be fair, you haven't been to quite a few at this point.
I've missed 2, Andy. It's not quite a few.
Mikey, to my heart, it's felt like a lot longer.
2 out of a decade and a bit.
It's felt a lot longer. My heart and my loins yearn for Mikey.
What's that feeling in the distance? It's loins.
Loins!
Loins!
I've got this horrible image now of just people screaming as loins, like come over the mountains.
Of Invader Zim when he's putting all the organs inside him.
Loins!
I've grabbed this man's loins!
Get
me his loins, Minimus!
See, have you and I skipped out on many of those nights?
I have. I usually would.
I think I forced myself to go.
I usually would just sit outside until they started doing the cosplay competition, which I did go in for.
Yeah.
Because I thought that people put some effort into that. But the script reading, let's just say I never really gelled with Simon Furman's sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a dig at Simon. That's just like...
People enjoy different humor.
In anything he's ever written, I've never laughed.
Yeah.
I laugh at these things because you're in a room full of people, and that's laughter psychology. It's a thing.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say they're memorable.
So would you say, you, like me, you're a bit more interested in going to it?
Yeah, I'm very curious. I kind of wish this was happening in a year where we had a lot more animated theming going on. So maybe we could have had some animated actors. Because Townie, if we could get Townie in for Sentinel, would be nice.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because we're gonna. There's not a lot of Transformers animated voice actors going, are there? So there's gonna have to be a lot of substitutes. And it did. I'm pretty sure the article you had there said that it's not going to be fans doing it either. It's going to be the actual voice actor or the guest. The actors on side.
So
yeah,
your options at the moment are Greg Berger, Peter Spellos, Brian Drummond, Marty. They must be getting. They're going to have to get some fans involved because they're going to be female characters in this.
I think you're
God bless Greg Berger. He is a talented man.
I think you're underestimating Brian Drummond, Mikey. Imagine Vegeta, but more feminine. Especially that Vegeta, but more feminine.
Yeah. Sorry, Sumdak would be a lot more sinister.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm interested to see what it's like. Hope it's good. As I do for all these things, and yeah. What else you got?
That's it, really.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Is that as then for the news then, Mr. Mikey?
Yep.
Well then, I'm gonna push it right back over to you and say, Mikey, what have you been up to this week? How's your emotions been? Do you feel drained at all?
Maybe you could go fuck yourself. You ever consider that?
Hey, Mikey.
Shut up! Don't you dare fucking say it. It's been 2 weeks. Stop fucking saying it. I'm just saying. Don't you fucking say it.
I think we need a t-shirt.
If I show up somewhere and I see a fucking t-shirt with that in it, I know who to kill.
Do you see why I've said it to you so often as well while you've been playing Nier?
Because you're a dickhead, that's why.
Yeah, because I've been sitting there going, oh, Mikey, I know what's coming. I know what awaits you in the future.
Because you're an asshole. That's why you're saying it.
I'm sitting here on the edge of the world waiting for you to catch up going, oh, you've got to go through the barbed wire, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, but you're sitting on the edge of the world to push me off.
Well, I want to go off with someone together. Friendship. It means suffering together.
Yay. Before I get to that, I did absolutely nothing else because my week has been kind of obsessed with one thing. But I did watch Geo like half an hour ago.
Oh, really? Okay, how'd that go? Has it improved? I'm pretty sure I asked you this last night.
It's going to be a 3-part story now.
What do you mean a 3-part story?
So they usually do the 2-part format, but now they're
Oh.
extending it to 3 for this episode.
I see what you're saying.
I don't think it deserves it.
Oh.
There was a lot of padding in this one.
Oh, no.
And a lot of rehashing of Gates really likes Shio, even though he doesn't want to admit it.
Right.
Decade's in it, he's good. And I'm still slightly amazed I'm always saying that, but he's good in it. DN's in it, and it's sort of setting up some stuff with him. And it looks like they might actually finally do something with the Time Jackers. I don't think it'll be good, because I'm 95% sure what I think it's going to be. But they're going to do something with them. Because at this stage, I actually, like, going by the performances, I think most of the Time Jacker actors have checked out. Especially the female actor, because it's gone from, I'm supposed to be kind of cool and brooding, and now it's like, I'm reading these stupid lines again. But I should also say the plot no longer makes any sense. Like, at all. It's not a good show, I'll be honest. It's devolved into a not good show.
Right.
And when people say, like, oh, well, it respected its, reference stuff and its call-outs and its nostalgia, I would say it had a mixed respect for that, and people will, when people think about that going forward, they will probably only remember the Agito and Blade episodes. Maybe the Deno.
You really think so? You really think it'll not be well regarded in the future?
I don't think it's going to be well regarded as a show. I think when people do say something positive about its nostalgia hits, it's going to be going like, oh, you remember Blade and Agito? And I'll be like, yeah, they were good. That was 4 episodes. Out of 50.
That's not good. How many until the end?
Depending about when they end, like their current next one's going to be 43.
Oh, so we are getting close to the end then.
Yeah. We still haven't seen anything of 01 to see what he looks like, but
the main reason I asked was, do you feel it's wrapping up well and soon? Because
no.
I already know the answer was no, by the way.
no, and to be fair, it doesn't really feel like it's wrapping up soon. It feels like it's hit like a 30 episode point.
Oh, so it's mid-season at the moment in terms of
how
it
feels like that.
Oh, that's
like,
not good.
I don't know. Like, it went from a show I kind of enjoyed to a show I tolerated to a show I'm just got a morbid curiosity about now.
Ah, right, okay.
But yeah, no new anime this week. There was one I was going to try called Dr. Stone.
Yes, I've heard of that. That is a shonen anime, and I hear that the manga is quite good.
I stopped the second I heard the word shonen, I'll be completely honest.
I understand that feeling.
Because people going like, oh, the manga's good. Doesn't work for me for shonen. Because it's probably started out good.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became popular enough that they got past a year's contract. And they basically told, like, just come up with your vague villain of the series that no one will confront for another 7 years in your plan.
Are you saying it might go down... It might go down the route of Bleach and Naruto. Well, I use Bleach and Naruto and One Piece especially because they're the shows that...
did not die.
One Piece isn't dead after all these years, but at least the Naruto...
Well, it is dead. It's just sort of
it's still
struggling. Yeah, it's a zombie.
Isn't it still like really popular, though?
I honestly don't know because I don't hear anyone talking about it. But I'm not in Japan.
Yeah, nor are you a fan of those shows, so I suppose you wouldn't be in the circles that would be talking about them.
Like, I sort of broke my rule with...
Kimi no Yaiba.
Because it had the demon stuff, which always draws me in, and I was curious, and it is such a beautiful show that I went quite far into it before I stopped. But I found my stopping point. It's why I've never tried Hunter x Hunter, despite the fact everyone says that's really worth your time.
It's really slow.
Yeah,
it's I tried and like people. Yeah, I heard a load of people say it's really good, and it's paced like a show. It's it's paced like Bleach and Naruto rather than Kimi no Yaiba, which I'll talk about in a bit, which isn't paced as poorly as those shows. Hunter x Hunter is paced like those shows, so if you are getting into that, be prepared for very, very long watching times of not much happening.
Yeah, and like the one shonen I think everyone should be talking praise about, which is Yusha and Tora. When that aired, no one talked about it because it was an old manga, and that manga was better than the modern stuff anyway, to be completely honest.
When Ushi and Tora came out as well, there wasn't that precedent set for old manga being revived to be popular. No. Now we've kind of entered that. I think Ushi and Tora would have done better coming out now than when it did.
And Parasite, I think, came out... Like, for me, they came out at the right time because I think they were both excellent shows.
Yeah, agreed, yeah.
But I think that for their own popularity, like, they hit the people who either watched them, who went out of their way to watch them and say, holy crap, these were good shows. Or people who remembered the mangas from the 90s and were like, oh my god! Like, apparently the manga community, the manga creator community went nuts when they found out both those shows were getting series.
Oh, that's good. I mean, I want to say, it feels like, and correct me if I'm wrong here, that Parasite generally did better than Ushio and Tora. And I say that only on the basis that there are at least ways you can buy Parasite here in the UK. And I don't know if you can buy Ushio and Tora. I don't think you can buy Ushio and Tora here in the UK.
Set. I've got the box set, but I bought it. I bought the box set in HMV.
Blu-ray.
Yes.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't think it was Ushio and Tora was out in the UK at all. So, well, I'm wrong there.
But I'd also say Parasite did well enough to get a bad live-action movie.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Just like the Disney movies are getting.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know what? You're all talking about Little Mermaid. No one's saying, should this movie be made? That's the question people should be asking yourselves. I don't give two fecks who's cast as what. I'm just like, maybe they should just not make the movie.
That would be great if they just stopped.
Because none of these have been... Alright, none of these have been good.
I haven't
One
watched
of them
it.
was
To be
average.
fair, I haven't seen any of them because I've already seen them.
Yeah.
In fairness.
One of them was average.
Which one was average then?
Aladdin was average.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah.
Why?
I had literally nothing else to do.
And that's a ringing endorsement right there.
Yeah, but I thought it was fine. It was an average, very forgettable take on a much better film.
Right, okay. I was going to ask if it's... knowing what your answer would be if it was better than what came beforehand.
Like, and the other ones I watched with friends who were saying, like, oh, we'll watch these. And I was just like, do we have to? Like, Maleficent is terrible.
Yeah.
Although it's got Angelina Jolie just struggling desperately to make something of the crap they're making her say. The Sleeping Beauty one is bad. The Beauty and the Beast one is a fucking disaster. Jungle Book is okay-ish.
It's not live action.
It's better. No, it's not. It's an animated movie. Neither is The Lion King, but that actually looks bad. You just need to stop. Like, it feel like people are saying, like, oh, it's a revival of all these wonderful things. No, it's making me remember there are better movies out there. Why would I give you money to see a movie I know you've done better before? This is you being cheap and saying, I can make money by doing a movie I've already done, which means I'm saving money on a lot of the planning and development stages.
Especially when I hear they do a lot of, not exact shot for shot, but very similar shots.
Oh no, shot for shot.
Sometimes. Is it
for
always shot for shot?
Not always, but if they can do shot for shot in a scene, they will.
Okay, good.
If they can get away with it. And also, like, Jafar was terrible.
I hear he was miscast.
So Iago was worse. Iago felt like basically they said, shh, we don't want to have the parrot talk, and then down the development line someone said, we should make the parrot talk. Oh, no. And so they added in a bunch of lines, but has no one reacting to anything Iago says.
Oh no. Was it Gilbert Godfrey? Because there's literally no reason why it couldn't have been.
No, it was not. It was Alan Tudyk.
No spitting on Alan Tudyk, but Gilbert Godfrey's not dead. I'm pretty sure he can talk.
I think even if he was dead, he'd struggle to keep Gilbert Godfrey quiet.
I agree. I think Gilbert Godfrey has a voice that you would hear from beyond the grave. I believe that.
But yeah, so I don't care about The Little Mermaid. I don't even like the original Little Mermaid.
Yeah, it's simple.
It
was important for its time because it was the revival of Disney.
Fair play.
But I would agree. It's not like one of the ones I cared that much about, even as a kid. I was like, I think I watched it once, and that was it. And unlike The Lion King, which I was like, fucking yeah, bitch! Woo!
Yeah, I've seen The Lion King too many times. But yeah, apart from that, I did play a little video game.
Yes.
So I have finished, not 100%, but I have broadly finished Nier Automata. So I have all the story stuff done. I've got most of the side quests done. I will probably go back and do all the stuff I've missed. Because there's something at the end of the game, you do get a bit of a moral choice after the credits.
Yes.
That's how I describe it. So I want to have as much done as I can before I make that choice.
Yes, because you've already made that choice. You did the immoral thing first.
No, I delayed the choice.
Oh, Mikey, that's not how that works.
That's how that works. No one died because of me, Andy.
Keep telling yourself that.
Yeah, so I finished the game.
Yes.
It's alright.
Yeah.
You know, I played worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a legit question. How do you feel it stacks up versus Drakengard 3? Because I know
it's way better.
Yeah, okay.
It's way better. Like because Drakengard has an amazing world building, and even taking off the nostalgia goggles, even leaving the nostalgia goggles on, it's a bit up and down with the gameplay, shall we say?
Right. Yeah.
This is solid gameplay. It's simple, but it's got the core engine of a Drakengard game, but it's got fairly simple controls. And I don't find myself using a lot of the battle options. So it's not like Devil May Cry, where you're constantly switching. No. But I think it's got solid gameplay. It's got all completely enjoyable gameplay. Good world building. The map's big, but not enormous, which I think is really good because it's trying to give the impression of a limited. You're not going across a state county or something. The mission structure is good. I like the mission types. I like the combat. I like all that stuff. Then there's the story. And then there was the story.
There was.
So yeah, I cried more in 6 hours than I have in the last 6 years.
Yeah. Can you see
and
why?
I cried.
Do you see why I was happy when you got to Act 3? Because that's when it for me, Act 3 is when shit gets. It goes off.
What it made me realize is how effective video game storytelling can be.
Yeah, certainly.
Because video game story is unique because in games like this, it's optional to a point, and it's a level of interaction you don't get in any other medium.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm saying this as someone who always prefers third-person storytelling. I don't want to have I'm the main protagonist thing. I don't care. I don't need to. I don't have a fantasy about me being a robot.
What about the silent protagonist, Mikey? Everyone.
Oh,
likes
fuck
them.
that guy. Fuck that guy. I don't need. Oh, it puts the gamer in the mindset of the character. Fuck off.
No.
Just fuck off. So I got the way the storytelling works is that you end up far more invested in these characters than you ever realize you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the side characters, you meet for 2 or 3 missions and then something about them comes up later on. I was getting genuinely upset about a character who I've never met. I've only had 6 radio conversations with, and one of them was about a flower.
Oh, that flower.
And I nearly bawled
mm-hmm.
because of how much I was invested in that character.
Yeah.
And then there's the main characters and their arcs and the complexities of their arcs and the levels of that complexity of their arcs, because it's like there are facets upon facets upon facets. Like A2's the simplest, and she ain't simple.
No.
There's the full-on side missions that they're not side missions, they're required. Because this world is built around the idea that you're meeting these individuals. And like when someone says, well, it's about a 12-hour lifespan of a game per playthrough, I'm just like, fuck off, it is.
I mean, technically it is.
Fuck off, it is. Because if you're playing it like that, you're playing it wrong.
Yeah,
you're playing it wrong.
Technically it is. You can have an experience, but you'll be missing out on a lot of context.
I can't picture going through Route C and not having completed all of A2's missions in the Machine Village.
No, that would be bad if you did.
I can't picture what it would be like to go through that part of the story and not have had the side missions with Pascal and not have had the side missions with the children and the mission with the girl and her big sister and everything else. Because there are moments in that ending where I'm just like, I give a shit.
You know what would happen now if you did? You'd probably feel, because I would, extreme guilt.
Yeah.
For not doing them. You'd be like, oh no, why am I not doing this? I should be a better person. It's
given me an interesting perspective on the importance of side missions, because I always do them, but I've never really thought about them.
Because most of the time, a lot of the side missions are not important. In a lot of games, a lot of them are superfluous to just
Red
extending the
Dead.
life of the game. Yeah, like Red Dead, or like I think Assassin's Creed is usually a really good example. Those open world games where it's just like, do this task, like race. But why are you racing? No reason. It's just literally to use the mechanic of the game and for you to drive around the cityscape or whatever it might be at the time. And you go, oh, all right, fine. There's no investment. But with the side missions in this game, they are all important because they're all building on the ideas and the themes of the game. And actually you're interacting with characters and building up side characters in significant ways. Like, who would have thought you'd care about a robot with a pink bow, Mikey, and a blue bow? Who would have thought you'd give a shit about that? Where are they now, Mikey? What happened to them?
I'm rarely shocked playing a game, but I had a moment where I turned on a scene and I froze and I just went, oh no. And I said it in a I'm getting teary-eyed thinking about it because it's so fresh. I'm not kidding. Because that's just gameplay. That's just, you'd never have to see that.
Yeah.
But because I just decided, I'm just going to turn the camera around.
You know what the worst thing is, Mikey? When you go back and listen to the OST, those feelings will reoccur because you'll start remembering things and you'll have flashbacks. Like, you remember the 8-bit theme at the end, how it kind of changes, and then the orchestra builds. Like, every now and again when I re-listen to that and the orchestra builds, I'm like, oh, no, shit! Yes! Do it.
Yeah, but like, and that's this is just touching on the surface level stuff in this game. This is touching on the.
I had a really hard time talking about this on Woo Woo because it is so dense.
I tried recording something and it was just like
it's hard.
It's hard. It's like, I don't know. But like the deep themes about psychology and personhood and what happens when you're emotionally hurting yourself because of a sense of duty, and you're emotionally hurting others because of a sense of duty, and when someone. The deep-seated negative feelings we all have for someone. Every one of us has a sense of resentment for someone we're close to.
Yeah.
And that can get wrapped up in our feelings of love and affection and sex and everything else. And this game very clearly is going on like, just because you deeply care about someone doesn't mean you necessarily forgive all the wrongs they do to you.
Yeah.
And just because someone is doing wrongs does not mean that they are a bad person or they are not a very decent, kind-hearted person who is doing what they think they have to do. And that's before, again, you get into the idea of transhumanist, what is a person? Which is done so much better here than it's done in Alita Battle Angel.
Yeah. Jesus.
Both manga and book and anime and movie. And just the world building is so effective. The music is absolutely stellar.
Oh yeah,
like it's very, very good. I am going to I'm probably going to do what I've done with Steins Gate and kind of fall down the hole of everything on the side. I've already found stuff like the stage play where the English voice actors did a fan dub. But it was a cold reading, so they constantly just are reading the line and going like, and I've realised that I don't think 2B's actress appears in public without wearing cosplay of 2B.
That's great.
And there was an amazing one where because her and 9S's actor, they run a Twitch channel.
All right.
Because she started off as like a online anime YouTubey person-y type. So they did a playthrough of the game, and they didn't, because of their character stuff, large sections of Route C, they never saw the script.
Right.
So there's a wonderful moment where your man's playing the game, she's sitting next to him in cosplay, his wife comes in, and they start like going nuts and say, oh my god, you look so amazing, it's great, and they're going, yeah, and you just watch him, because he's looking at the screen, at something he didn't know about, because he hasn't read the script for this.
Yeah. And
he's just like, la 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 la, and the guy goes into a Vietnam flashback. He goes completely blank, and you just have him go, the hand slowly rising to the mouth, just like, and meanwhile, two very happy women are going like, oh my god, will you make this for me? I will. And your one sits down, and she looks at the screen, and there's just this one very loud, fuck! and he just looks over. He doesn't say a word the entire time. He's like, it's great. But yeah, I don't know how to talk about this thing without spoiling the fuck out of it.
Yeah, again, that's very difficult to try and do.
Yeah, I think you did a very good job, in all honesty. Like, I was going to record something, and I'm kind of against it now, like something more spoilery. But because one, it's so hard to talk about on your own. Like, I'll just get wrapped up in 15 different things.
Yeah, there's so many threads because you almost feel like it's hard to go through all of it and explain it in a comprehensive way.
Yeah,
because
and that's before...
Each point you get to draws you into 5 or 6 different offshoots of conversations you want to kind of go down and talk about.
And that's before you start considering the stuff with Drakengard and Nier that this all ties into.
Yeah, Jesus.
Like,
because it does. The links are more the links are more subtle for Drakengard.
But they're there.
They're much harder for Nier. They're much more important for Nier. Like, they're very important for Nier. But you can play. You don't need to play the first Nier to enjoy the game. But you will get more out of it, and things will make more sense.
But something I like about this game is that it's aware of the fact that Nier was a cult title, and it explain everything that's in it that's important has at least a brief explanation.
Yeah, certainly.
But yeah, like the Drakengard stuff, it ranges from name drops to one of the weapons being the same weapon that Kain used in the first game.
The Beastmaster.
Iron Will.
Okay, I think Beastmaster was one of the first big greatswords. Was one of the weapons he could use.
Because I haven't found it. But I know that Iron Will, because Iron Will was in the first game, and it was in Drakengard 3, I believe.
Right.
Which means it goes back a while. But there's the weapon stories as well tie it, like the various lances. Like, you have weapons that are from Nier and are from Drakengard, and it's pretty explicitly said these are the same exact weapon that has survived thousands of years into the future. And like I've said before, there's also, to me, the very bizarre thing to think of that somewhere in this android robot alien infested world, there's just a dragon sitting there with his arms crossed saying, like, I am not getting involved in any of this.
Yes, I didn't have the heart to tell you that he wasn't in the game as far as I saw.
It would have been very strange if he was.
It would have been. Yeah. I don't know how easy it would have been to mesh it together if it was there. If he was
they
there.
talk about magic. Like, magic is a thing in this world, but like, I'm fairly certain it's like some of the androids actually use it because they have MP points on like the loading screen.
Oh, right.
Like, MP is at 100%.
Yeah. So,
and they do sort of magic-y things, but because of how standalone the story is, it's not hard to do the Nier stuff because the world feels the same, but there's a very purposeful disconnect between Drakengard's atmosphere and Nier. For reasons I won't get into. But so having a dragon wander into it and get involved in the story in a way that wouldn't feel like he was being shoehorned in, and 2, get involved in the story in a way that didn't make you say, and why didn't you solve all this thousands of years ago?
Yeah,
because like there's a guy in the story who is seemingly the most powerful guy in the world, who did his best to try and solve things. But just from what I know from the previous games and everything else, the dragon who would be in this story, considering how strong he was at a year old, could have solved all this.
Yeah.
After 5,000 or 6,000 years, he could have solved all this. So it's like, why were you being a dickhead? You're the nice one. That's like your whole shtick. But so if they do a sequel, and apparently this has sold 4 million units since it come out, and it's still selling well. And that's physical units, not digital.
Of course.
So I don't know what the digital sales level would be, you know?
Yeah.
But if they do a sequel, I absolutely would love if they added a few deeper cuts. But if they do a sequel as well, I'd like new characters. I don't, and as much as possible, I would not like and this is what happened to them in between games.
Yeah, no, I don't think that would be great. Though I'm not sure what Yoko Taro's plan to do next.
I don't know. I know that the companies like Platinum and everyone else and the publishers and whatnot, they were all like, wow, this could really become an excellent franchise if we put the effort into it.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what Yoko Taro wants to do.
No, well, he's not that kind of guy, is he?
No. because he's told his story, I think he'd want to move on and do something. Maybe not. It probably would be like moving from Drakengard to Nier. It would be do something completely different, but it would still be his idea of making wacky, strange games.
Yeah. And also, like, one of the strongest points of Nier is that all the stuff that makes Yoko Taro is tempered by the people he's working with.
Yes, which
Which
very
it never
important.
was before.
Yeah.
Which is the key thing. And he was with a top-class gaming company this time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Platinum is A+.
Yes.
And they're also ones like, listen, we get why you're doing this narrative thing, but something else should happen at this point. Like, you can't just be like, you're putting too much effort into the atmosphere in sections.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you see that conversation going on, and it's a problem Drakengard has at times. So I don't know what it'd be like. Like, we're doing a spin-off or a sequel, and the same company's not involved, because I hope he wouldn't get to the stage where he has too much say in it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He also, did you see there was a great thing. Someone did a reaction video to the Nier trailer when it was first announced.
Yeah, I saw
German
that.
fella, and he was like, he freaked because he was the Yoko Taro and everything else. He was just like very loudly German yelling, and Yoko Taro then, because apparently he doesn't like showing his face, so he goes around wearing an Emil mask.
Oh yeah.
And
That's actually
he-
that. Did you know that was broken? He got metal strips placed over it, so it looked like it'd been bolted together. I think the mask is now completely unwearable, so I think he either has a new one or has a different mask now at this point.
Yeah,
Bless him.
but he started basically imitating the reaction.
Yeah.
But he also invited the guy over to Japan to meet him,
Yeah.
and it was really sweet.
Oh yeah.
Because it was just like this was before the game came out, and they were just like, I'm really touched people are this excited. Also, the music video is fucking disturbing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's creepy.
Like, I think it's a very, very well produced music video that also is very Yoko Taro in its construction, especially the ending.
I think once you watch his plays, you'll feel exactly the same way about that as well. Because they are very Yoko Taro. That doesn't mean they're good, nor does it mean they are bad. They are just very Yoko Taro.
And I
they're
may
weird.
have... Well, I've spent too much this week anyway, but I may have put in an order for a Bring Arts 6-inch 2B with Little Robot.
Oh no!
But I thought, because basically there seems to be several eBay sellers who are the ones listed in Hong Kong, so it's always very dubious sometimes but they're selling it for like 10 plus shipping.
Right.
So I said it's 10. If it arrives, it arrives. If it doesn't, it's eBay. It's very easy to get your money back off eBay for something not being delivered.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So I don't feel a major risk in this.
I'd be concerned about the quality of the product if it's a real product or if it's a knockoff one. Like there are knockoff Figmas, for example, which
I've never seen a knockoff Bring Arts.
No, you might be right.
Like Figma is a big company, Bring Arts isn't. That's the thing. Now I could get like, oh look, we sent you a statue of 2B. I'd be like,
all right,
well, not what I ordered.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also there's a slight risk if I get this. They're doing A2, they're doing 9S, they're doing a multi-pack of Machine Life Forms, they're doing the twins. And I mean, it's getting to the stage where I'm like, well, they're doing Kaine from Nier. I don't know anything about her apart from the fact that she does not know how to dress, but I could get her. You know, it's getting to that stage. Like, I was always in some ways very glad that there was only a limited number of Steins Gate Figmas. Speaking of which, I'm also very glad I watched the Jobby thing before I ever thought about getting the combining Gridman.
From Good Smile, you mean? Yeah.
Because I could get a model kit if I want something like that, or I can get a Figma if I want an action figure, but that toy does not know what it wants to be.
Yeah, don't forget the mini plat is coming, and it's more than likely going to be good. If a bit parts formery, it will probably be quite fun and cheaper. Maybe.
But
that's
we'll
my
see.
plan.
Yeah. I'd probably go for the Figma.
I mean, that's fair enough.
Plus Grid Knight.
Yes.
But yeah, that man does good reviews.
Jobby. Oh yeah, they're always fun.
The dabbing isn't funny anymore, though.
Isn't it?
No, dabbing's not funny. Dabbing was never funny. I'm just saying that now, but I've passed the point of being tolerant of it. Also, Go-Go 5 is getting a DVD release.
Apparently.
And that was me, Andy. I'm dead inside.
Good,
And
good.
I want my heart back.
It'll come back in time. It'll just take...
They said that about Steins Gate, and I'm still crying.
The pain never goes away. That's the trick.
No, she was in a wall, Andy.
In a wall.
Why was she in a wall?
Don't worry about it.
She was a beautiful, wonderful person.
Okita tried
Shut
to
up.
save her.
Oh god, now I'm getting sad again. Because Steins Gate Elite is out, and now that's all animated. I could get that and see all that moving.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yay!
Incoherent screaming.
That's about right.
Andy, what about you?
Well, we did a comic show this week, which hasn't gone out as of yet. I did put out the free show finally for last month's comics, so that was another thing I didn't got up to. What else? I am now all caught up with Kimi no Yaiba. Is that right? I think that's right. I think that's the name of it.
Something like that. Kimetsu no Yaiba?
Something like that. Either way, I'm up to date on that. Kimetsu no Yaiba. That's what it is. I think you'd like it less than I do from how it sounded. Because I don't mind it because it does have that, as we were talking earlier, it does have that shonen pace to it, but it feels like it's moving faster than a lot. It still has that thing of you get to an episode and you're like, if this was 10 years ago, because we're old, if this was 10 years ago, up to episode 13 would probably have been about 30 episodes, if not more.
Yes. I think at this stage it's avoiding a lot of the tropes, but I also think it feels like it's about to hit some more.
Yeah, it is. It still feels in some places like it drags. Like specifically, have you seen episode 13?
No.
Okay, there is a point. There are 2 points where they show a sequence, and then they go back in time to show how they got up to that sequence. But then when they reach the point where they got up to, they then keep playing that animation. So let's say guy walks past flower, sees a demon. What happened before then? And then you see all the way back to how the demon got up to that part. But then you also have the scene again playing of that character walking past the flower and seeing the demon. And it's like it's longer than that, so it's more annoying because it feels like you're wasting time. And it does that twice. And it's the way it's broken up is the first half of the show. It does it, and then it does it again in the second half of the show with a different scene. So it feels like that was a filler episode in some ways, and they wanted to get these 2 concluding points together, or this conclusion point and the start of the next kind of story segue. And they didn't have enough story to fill it, so they kind of repeated a bit of animation just to fill it out time-wise, which wasn't great. I see what you mean about the story, because it still does feel... Sometimes, like, you're looking at you watching and you're like, don't feel like a lot happened here, but it's certainly better than what I thought it would be. But man, it's fucking pretty.
It's very, 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 very pretty.
And I think that, again, helps it. Because if it was standard animation, it would be much harder to kind of tolerate that kind of stuff. But because it is, like, high-quality ufotable, I tolerate it a lot more. Like, most of the time, I think you can agree, Mikey, you'll see the intro for a show and you're like, wow, the animation's really good. And then you get to the show and it's not even half that. I would say...
Especially shonens.
Yes. Certainly. I would say with Kimetsu no Yaiba, it keeps fairly close to the quality of that animation. Fairly consistently as well. I have yet to see a massive drop. There has been a few more times I've seen the CGI, but it's been very rare and it's not been in your face. And I really like the effects that they have around the sword because it looks like it's a distinctly different kind of coloring that they've done to it to make it look like it comes from Japanese paintings. But it's not so egregious that it doesn't blend in well enough with the actual animation. So I really like that kind of stuff. But it's perfectly fine. I wouldn't highly recommend it. It would be one of those animes where I'd go, if you don't have anything else, you could watch it for something, but don't go out your way to watch it. That's how I kind of rounded up myself. What else have I? Lord El Malloy, the second case file, episode 1 came out yesterday, and I watched that, and I enjoyed it. It is a good episode 1 set up for where Wave of Velvet, who is the character from Fate Zero, progressed after surviving the Holy Grail War, the Third Holy Grail War, and how he became a teacher in the Clock Tower, which is the Mages Association where, young wizards learn magic and shit. Or mages, I suppose, learn magic and shit. I assumed that would have been what episode 00 would have been. But I think episode 00, which came out a while ago, was more of an idea of setting up what the premise of the series was going to be, rather than showing important information about how a character got to that position. There's still... So it's set up... the backstory effectively quite nicely. The animation again was very good because it's ufotable. I don't know what the show is going to be about now.
Yeah.
Unless it's completely based off of what episode 00 was be. It might be lots of standalone episodes leading into a big overall story arc, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it'll have any real connection to Fate apart from minor nods to Waver and his servant, who he had in that war. So I think it's fairly newcomer friendly, but I think you will get more out of it if at least you've seen Fate Zero, unless, because I think the main Fate Stay Night series takes place 10 years after Fate Zero, so there might be some minor references to that. But since it takes place in a completely different country at the same time, I think it would only be very minor references at best. But I'm enjoying it. It's going to be one that I do week by week because I'm into the Fate series, the Natsuverse as they call it, and look forward to seeing how that kind of progresses. I don't actually have anything else at the moment. I'm going to have to look for more anime in the not too distant future. In terms of things I bought, I picked up last week. I picked up Bloodstained, didn't I? Ritual of the Night.
Yes.
Yes. This week I picked up Earth Defense Force 4.1, the Shadow of New Despair.
That sounds cheerful.
It's it's amazing. I managed to persuade our friend young Jason Kirk to buy it as well, and he's really enjoying it as well.
To be fair, it's not hard to persuade Jason to do anything.
He's a nice lad and trusts us, which is unfortunate for him.
Put your tongue on the plug. Jason, put your tongue on the plug.
He's got other animes to watch before that, Mikey. He's got to experience sadness.
Oh God, what did we say he was getting into next, or what did we suggest? Because I meant to reply, but I forgot.
We've suggested quite a few things.
We've forgotten dozens of fucking things to him. But
yeah, he has said he started rewatching Kill la Kill, and I thought to myself, I'm sure you've seen that recently. But he seems to be rewatching that, and I'm like, okay, well, it's a good anime to rewatch, so whatever.
Yeah.
But EDF, really good. It's B-movie kind of cheapy Japanese game where you fight off hordes of giant insects like ants and spiders and hornets, and you fight off dragons. You fight a Godzilla-like creature. It's over the top, kind of. It's kind of crappy, but in a really endearing, fun way. If you have a bazooka, you can blow up a 40-story building in 2 shots. Kind of stupid. I'm really enjoying it. I was going to say I haven't played that much, but it says on Steam I've played it for 8 hours. The good thing about this version of the game, which other future ones do, but I think 4.1 is the only good one that's on the PC. There, Earth Defense Force 5 is on like PlayStation and 4. So if you want to play them. But there are 4 classes in it. So you got Ranger, who's just your bog standard dude with machine guns and rocket launchers. You've got wing divers, who are anime girls showing the boobs and whatnot, who can fly in the sky and use energy weapons.
Do they flap their boobs and that's how they fly?
No, it's like it's like Power Girl. It's got like a boob window to their armor. And they've got like energy ponytails.
I always assumed that was how Power Girl could fly.
The boob window. You could be right.
What you don't see is like she's actually squeezing her chest together, and there's like a shot of air shooting down to the ground, and that's forcing her up.
Well, there's a secret power I never even considered.
Yeah.
I like the wing diver the best because I like the ability to fly, and it gives you more maneuverability, so you can, not get a load of spider jizz in your face, which can kill you very quickly, very quickly. You have a fencer, and by that I mean a guy in basically a small robot suit who can have artillery cannons attached to him, or if you want to go anime, he can have a giant hammer or sword or scythe.
Seems fair.
He can have Gatling cannons and stuff like that. And then there's the Air Raider, who's the guy who has ship weapons, but can throw down small signals for artillery strikes from space, and can call in spider tanks, which can stick to buildings. He can call in tanks in various sizes. And he can also call down a machine that looks very, very similar to a Pacific Rim robot. You might ask me, Andy, does it have guns? It does not. You might ask me, Andy, what does it do? It punches things.
Excellent.
It just punches things. And it is massive compared to everything else in the game. There was a video I was watching where it was fighting a load. Did I tell you about this last week?
I don't think so.
It was fighting a load of big robots, or what you would consider on the ground force fighting big robots. And compared to that, the guy went, it looks like it beating up a bunch of small children. So the big robots were not even half the size of the robot that you'd called in yourself, which is very fun. It's very fun, very stupid. And I also picked up, what was it? Oh, Tales of Vesperia, because it was one I wanted and it was on sale. And I was like, okay, let's just make sure I get this because I want it. I haven't played it yet because I've got the other games to finish first, and it's an RPG, so it'll be a lot more investment of my time and mind and whatnot. Yeah. So, but that's been my week. That's what I've been up to. I think that's all I've really done for fun. I've seen my buddy Matt, which was quite a surprise. I didn't think I'd see him on Saturday, but I did.
You thought he'd escaped?
What's that?
You thought he finally escaped?
Yes, he didn't know. He got wormed into my web, and we got to have fun and whatnot. And I'll be seeing him again on Wednesday for some fun times.
Yeah.
And human interaction, which I do enjoy. So, Mr. Mikey, that's all the stuff we've been up to, and let's have a look. We have a thing on Patreon. I'm seeing if we've got anything else. I don't think we've got any other messages apart from one from Tentomon 4. Let's start with an on-topic question. Okay, Mikey, are you prepared?
From Tentomon, this is the first.
All right.
You see what I did?
With Hasbro going so hard on G1 right now, do you think it's time for a new take on old characters that are radically different from the G1 counterparts to get new names? I think that's meant to be. Like, for example, calling Armada Cyclonus, Skyclonus, or something. That's interesting. Then again, IDW sold this extremely excellently with the whole tall and short Tanko thing, so whatever, I guess. And did you miss one of my posts last week, Andy? I don't know. I might have. It's hard to keep track. There are lots. So before we move on with the rest of it,
sounded very passive aggressive. There's lots.
Well, there's
I
lots
don't
of
see them all.
There's lots of my emails, and the way that Gmail kind of lists the emails, it's not the best most of the time. So I do apologize if I missed out on one of them. But we'll start off from the first point, Mr. Mikey. Renaming characters to get them in, like Skyclonus from Armada Cyclonus. What do you think of the idea of that? Or do you think they do, like he says, the IDW thing of just the tall and short versions, for example?
I think it'll happen anyway, because the only reason he was called Cyclonus was because they had the license to the name Cyclonus. Like, Armada's the way the Unicron trilogy names worked, it had nothing to do with character and everything to do with we don't want to spend money on extra licensing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think you'd have to. You probably would give them new names, just especially nowadays, because of the heavy G1. Like, everything must be their G1 counterpart.
Yeah.
So you couldn't have a Cyclonus that wasn't Cyclonus at the moment. You'd have to have him as someone else.
Is there, like, then a specific... Let's go with this trilogy then, because I think this is maybe the best trilogy to go for, because it has the least love. Out of the Unicron trilogy, if you could pull, like, one character, and even if they had to be renamed, who would you like to be kind of given a spotlight in this day and age for whether that's Cyberverse, whether it's the new IDW comics, or whether it's just a new toy line kind of thing? What would you like? Or are those three separate things that you'd like to see three separate characters in?
I'd bring Cybertron Scourge in somehow.
Cybertron
Flame
Scourge.
Convoy.
Oh, the dragon thing.
See, we would think Japanese names first because we're nerds.
That's right.
But
Weebs,
yeah,
I think is the right term.
yeah. I would probably think just because I like his archetype.
Proud warrior king. Actually, he is very good.
And he brings in a bit of. Yeah, but he brings in a lot more moral ambiguity. If potentially, not he didn't because it was an anime. It was a children's anime. It was a children's anime in the early 2000s.
Yes.
So his moral ambiguity was, I will one day talk about how the fact that maybe being bad's not so good. But until then, not a word.
And he didn't have from the Galaxy Force line. He didn't have one of the best figures. His toy was visually quite nice to look at, but was very limited in what it was able to do. And I think I know another reason why you'd like to see this, Mikey.
Is it that I like axes?
I was gonna say, is it because you could get a Kevin effectively?
Kevin.
Is that a factor?
It is now, but times change.
Yes, because if you didn't know, he could become a 3-headed dragon. So.
Yes, that was his Saibaki power.
Yes.
Is there anyone else?
For you mean?
I'm just trying to think. I think just because I don't think I've ever seen it done before. That wasn't and then he went back like Armada Wheeljack.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. Yeah, you don't get many Autobots who turn evil.
Yeah, and who stay that way, because, he doesn't rejoin the Autobots.
No.
What about you, Andy?
I'm always, I like the idea of getting Noise Maze. I think he had a really nice visual design, and he had one of those unique faces. I think you could do something interesting with that. You could say he was imperated or something to that effect. I also wouldn't mind seeing Sideways because I like the idea of the dual headmaster kind of thing. To be in disguise, he's in a way. I suppose he's almost like punch counter punch.
Yeah.
In a way, at least. So I liked his design as well visually. I like both of their designs. So something to do with them would be quite neat to see. So we'll move on. Luckily, it was one where I tried to explain a PS Plus to Mikey because I was under the impression that he'd gotten it. Oh, that you'd gotten PlayStation Plus. Totally making an ass of me. Him, not me. I don't know. I'm already an ass, so. But the part of the post I will now repeat is a bit where I try to sell Andy on JoJo. Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable. Mostly by calling it a buffer Persona 4 with a small town of teens with weird powers causing mysteries and solving murders. But there is more to it than that. I'm sure there is.
So what you're saying is you could be watching Persona 4 or playing Persona 4, and instead you're not doing that.
Thanks to the manga being done with that part, it don't not run into the long running shonen problem, which we've talked about before on this show as well. You were talking about how we did that here as well. And in the Blu-ray version, they fix all the no time, just ship it. Oh, animation snags, yes.
That's more of a thing these days.
It is. I get why they do it. I always think it's a bummer, but I get why. Don't they sometimes censor stuff? No, they do. They censor stuff on TV and they make it more lewd for the DVD versions.
These days the way it works is that the Blu-ray home release is uncensored and the TV show will have cropping out, or it'll have that annoying black strip or those weird lights.
Yeah.
Because the first time I noticed that, it was Blood Sea.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Because that was like vampires, but not, and it had like there'd be entire like half a scene that was black, and then you watch the Blu-ray, and it was because they went like full on high level gore horror.
Right. Yeah.
And then like Shibaneta, where it worked perfectly in my opinion, and it works worse without it.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
a weird thing. Because I have seen uncensored Shimonetta now. I was curious, so because I was like, how much of this did they actually change?
Did they change a lot?
Basically, any bit where you had a little smiley face,
Okay.
that was a nude scene.
See that? No, it makes sense because the whole thing was about being censored.
Yeah, but it was a weird thing where it worked better, and of course, Monster Musume, where what they basically did was just crop
Steam.
They did Steam, but they also did this thing where they cropped the scene.
All right.
And like some of those things from the TV, it's like a quarter of the size of the one in the Blu-ray because
I mean, I hear there's the Blu-ray out. I know some of our friends have their versions wrapped in their sticky containers still.
Yeah, just like, are you gonna watch it? I don't want to admit I'm watching this. Just watch the fucking thing. It's a good show.
It's fun.
It's a fun show. There's no need for shame.
You may ask me, Mikey, did they ever fix Berserk? I would imagine no.
There
is no fixing that show.
I was going to say there's a difference between we're
animation
cropping some
snag.
stuff out and we've murdered everyone who worked for that animation studio.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Only the devil could fix that show. I swear to God.
Like, hey, it's the walk cycle that always gets me.
Ooh, bob up and down. That's how it works.
And they're not even moving. They've got their arms straight to their sides and they're like, it's like you have them on a little stick. I have problems. I've got a dark inner soul.
Ah, dear. Continues. So good show. Worth a try. But it's not a series for Mikey. Mostly because Araki keeps taking the narrative shortcut of having the antagonist be cruel to animals to get points that they are bad guys across. Okay.
To be fair, I'm cruel to animals, but that's mostly just for kicks.
Good old Mikey. And I've been listening for long enough to know that that's a turn off for Mikey. Mikey can't get hard when he sees animal cruelty, unlike the rest of us.
Sometimes I'm looking at a rabbit being disemboweled. I'm just like, well, I'm flaccid for the rest of the day.
Am I the weird one?
Am I the problem? No, the children. The children are the problem.
That's enough for this week. Have a cool summer. It won't be cool.
It's too fucking hot.
Yeah. So I appreciate the suggestion for JoJo. It's one of those things I'm always interested in, but I don't feel I'm at that point where I want to actually be bothered with it. It's like passing curiosity more so than a need to watch it. Even though, like I say, I do hear good things about it. I'm not sure I care too much about it, if you know what I mean. It's passing interest.
Putting aside jokes and overplaying anything and whatever.
Sure.
The thing about stuff like JoJo that people are going like, oh, you need to watch this, and either at the time I'm not super interested in storyline or something about the visuals is turning me off or whatever. It's like, okay, so this show might be really good. The problem is I have stuff I want to watch that I know I will like, or I think I will like. And I'm prioritizing that. And especially when you're someone like us who has been doing this for a very long time and missing a lot of shows over the years, there's quite a long backlog of shows we should probably go back and see at some point.
To a problematic point of remembering what those shows were.
Yeah, like I saw a great one in the week. Just like someone put on Twitter, just like, anime fans, oh my god, you have to watch this show. Also anime fans, I'm not watching this show I want to watch for no discernible reason.
I think, no, there is a discernible reason. The reason is you don't have the time.
Yeah.
There's not enough time for a lot of people in the day. And for me, because I watch most of these shows at night for bedtime watching, again, I face the same problem. I could watch a load of it, but I think I would lose the enjoyment of watching anime doing it that way.
Yeah.
The only way I can figure out the shows I want is to go through a gig video of a summary of what's in the whatever season it is of 2018 and 19, and then go and watch that and watch a clip and go, oh yeah, that one's one I was interested in watching but never got around to. Let's put that down and see if I can find a torrent for it or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the only way I'm able to do it. Because I completely forgot Violet in the Evergarden, and I plan to. I'd like to watch that.
Yeah, it's a good
at some
show.
point. Yeah,
it's a very good show. It's short as well.
And I couldn't remember it at all until I went back going, okay, I need to watch an anime. What do I... Oh, yeah, I forgot about that show. Shit, I should probably watch that.
That's heartbreaking, but...
Good.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I've like me, Agretzico. It's something I've been meaning to watch.
Oh
for
yeah, the new
ages.
season's out as
Yeah,
well. For
and
that.
like that. It's just like, oh, it's
that.
come up. Like I need to sit down and watch it, and then like, but I also have to sit down and watch this, and I have to work a job, and I have to do dinosaur stuff, and I've got to do other things. I've got to be obsessed with a video game. And
Yes.
So stop being told like, oh, you should really watch this season of JoJo. I'm just like, I still haven't finished Persona 5, the anime. Like,
You don't.
I don't know. I've got
You
the
don't
game.
need to now.
Got the
Yeah.
game now.
Don't. I wouldn't bother. To be honest, if
even
you've
then,
got
like,
the game,
and I, it's Persona anime, and it's well produced. I don't think from what I
Sure.
can see, it's not as good as Persona 4 at the same time. But I'm still like, I should be diving into this, but I'm always like, but I've got so much else to do.
See, with the Persona animes, I think it's a really good thing to watch after you've played the game and you've got the most out of the story, because the game's going to give you the most kind of investment in characters and all that kind of stuff, and investment into the world. And then you go back and go, okay, I'm not in the mood to play a super long 24, 50, 100 an hour whatever RPG. But if I watch the anime, I can hit those same beats and then remember all the other stuff as well.
I came into Persona through the anime. So,
Did you? Oh,
yeah.
I thought you played Persona 4,
nope,
2,
Persona
3 or 4 before.
Persona 4 was my first experience of it. You and God were nagging me for like a year and a half beforehand. But
that sounds like me.
Yeah.
I do that.
But Persona 4 the anime was my first time.
Ah.
And it left such a huge impression on me, to be honest.
It's a fun one.
To the point where I was disappointed when I tried the game, because I'm just like, you're not you. You're me pretending to be you.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you're not the guy I fell in love with. And that was also one of the driving points for me. I was just like, I hate silent protagonists. I think Persona does silent protagonists brilliantly.
Yes.
And it's so clever in how they approach it. But it's just like, if it was not for the sheer quality of the writing and that experience, I would have been annoyed.
I still, I'd hope Persona would move away from it. I don't think they ever will. I think that's kind of what you get when you get a Persona game. I don't think they're going to drip away from it's the silent protagonist, but with certain options.
Like, you've got the Persona Q games where they give everyone lines and everything else, but...
Sure, yeah.
Which, a new one of those is out soon, I think, if it's not out already.
Ah, that makes sense. I think there's a new dancing game one coming out soon as well for the Persona 5 characters.
I think that is out, because I think I saw that.
That one's out? Okay.
But they've also got the Persona 5 Ultimate Edition coming out, I think. Which is like the Golden and the Fez version.
So it'll probably have new story in it as well, technically.
And a new character. A new love interest. But
oh no.
I don't know any of... All I know about the Persona 5 love interest is one is dressed as a cat lady. So...
Oh, yeah.
Because she was in the bit of the anime I watched, so I don't know what the other love interests are like. I don't know if we've got a Naoto. I don't know if we've got...
I assume that cat lady is doing a teddy, and it's the cat thing.
No, Morgana is the cat, and the cat, she, like, is really fond of the cat lady. But
see, I assumed it was, like I say, the teddy situation of the cat Morgan turned into a lady.
No,
I thought it was that thing again.
She is the I'm the popular high school girl.
Okay.
Archetype, but they do play with it because she's a popular high school girl who's actually a fucking human being.
Oh my god.
But of course, because it's Persona, the story's about rape. Yay. But trauma. Let's kill the cutest character in the whole story.
They do that sometimes.
Not over that. I'm not forgiving.
No.
About that. But yeah.
That's only if things go wrong, though, Mikey.
They went wrong, Andy. In the anime, they both go wrong and right.
That's true.
But yeah. I just can't see myself saying I'll go to JoJo when there's so many other things I desperately want to catch up on at some point.
I would never say never myself.
Yeah.
It might very well be something I try in the future, but I don't see it being anytime soon. So though I do appreciate the suggestion of a specific arc.
And
because
well done trying to hit the buttons there.
I would agree that sometimes there are arcs in animes where you'll come in and be like, I don't like this anime, and you're like, you just need to get past it.
The problem
like
is
Star Trek seasons.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing. Like when someone says get past this arc to get to the next arc, that's a year's worth of storytelling.
Yeah.
To go.
But to be fair, we say that with Kamen Rider shows.
Yeah, but that's
as well.
for 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Not 50.
Yes. And that's why Tendemon's suggestion was good, because it was just skip that and go to here for this contained story, which I suppose is a benefit to JoJo as well.
True.
Each season is a contained story from what I know, instead of being like a dragging on shonen of, okay, this is going to go on for hundreds of episodes. It's like, here's, I think the anime does like 24 episodes, and that's that story done, and now there's a new story of 24 episodes, so that's definitely a plus there. But Mikey, where can people find you on the internet if you want them to? You
can find me on Twitter as Irish Palo and YouTube as GeevilV3. If you want to leave us any feedback, guys, you can do it on the moonbase2@gmail.com. You can send it on our Twitter, on our Patreon, on our Libsyn, on our Facebook, any way you'd like. Andy, what about you?
You can find me on Twitter, CCTFW, on YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW. You can find this podcast on Moonbase 2 Forum on Twitter, iTunes, Facebook, Libsyn, YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast, or you can head over, well, if you like, you can head over to the Patreon page, which is patreon.com/Moonbase2, and if you do $2 each month, you can get the extended version of From the Files of Teletran 2, which this week contains the ongoing adventures of Atomic Robo, which was fun. And you get that a week early, and you also get the Moonbase Woo Woo for the month, which I don't know what that will be.
God only knows.
Because it was going to be you talking about Nier, but it sounds like that's not.
It sounds like I was just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, which is understandable. Or you can head over to the ccbunker.weebly.com to see all this kind of stuff as well.
Yep.
So once again, Mr. Mikey, thank you for coming on and talking to moi.
We're very happy to.
So until next week, everybody, we will catch you then.
Toodle pips, kids.